that we were understanding where we were really supposed to be fit into that, because there's a lot of resources out there. So one of the biggest things about what we do that sets us apart, that is going to set this apart, is that there's a ton of resources out there, mental health and, even health and wellness for law enforcement, for first responders, but it's a lot of knowledge-based, which is great. They need to know how to be healthy. They need to understand how to have self-care be a part of their day. They need to understand that there's support out there, but there's not a lot of implementation-based, action-based support. It's like, what about when at the end of the day, when they're like, I know I should be doing, but I don't have anybody calling me out. I don't have anybody holding me accountable, helping me follow through. Right. I don't have anyone helping my family on a daily basis with tools and resources and programs and plans and structure where I can check in and I have accountability. All of that is kind of, there's not a lot of options out there for that. And we just felt really specifically called to develop something like that. Well, and that's what we've done.
I'm thankful that you guys continue to respond to the call. Those of you that are tuning in to Impacting Life 24/7, I'm joined by none other than Mr. and Mrs. Javi and Jessica Madrigal. I love that I can say their name now, because when I first met them, I had no clue. When they came on our show the first time, I was butchering their name for the entire show. It was an absolute train wreck. Did y'all see that video I posted about like one of my first episodes with the microphone falling over?
Yes, that was the absolute best. Yeah, because of CL, we are eternally known to our friends and family now as the McGriddles.
The McGriddles, yes.
Literally, that's what he said, and I was like, "This is the best name mess up I've ever experienced."
I couldn't wrap my brain around it. Let me see here, just 1 second, guys. For those of you that are in our live audience, I need to do something. Just
we make the magic happen.
Hold on.
Welcome to Impacting Life 24/7.
All right. I still haven't figured out, Javi, how when you take from your regular screen and I want to bring this over to my huge screen and I want to make it live over there, but I don't want to hear no volume over there. I probably should have just turned down the channel for that. See, I'm out of practice, Javi. It's been 3 weeks. I don't even know what to do anymore. You know what I mean? And so how can folks, because this is laser focused, and this is a very important community that you guys are stepping up. I mean, like I've been really trying to find in my research. I know, Paula, I thought I fixed it last time. I'm rusty. Okay. I'm off season right now. I have been scouring the World Wide Web to see if there was some comparable things out there, and you guys really are just standing out. And this is kind of groundbreaking because the Lord told you to kind of go in this direction. So I'm excited to be a part of this kind of revolutionary approach that you're going to offer our law enforcement and first responders. So how can people even, because we're going to show them tonight as opposed to just talk about it, but how can people find and get a snapshot of what you got going on?
So if you want more information on everything that's involved with the benefits, the features, who we serve, how we serve them, go to www.phoenixwellnessacademy.com, and we put everything there and a couple different places you can just click the button and submit an application or a form. It's really just a form to let us know if you're interested, or even just remotely interested. If you just want more information or get on a call with us to find out if it's something that's a good fit or what we can do for your department or agency, fill out the form, how many people you have. It's just a really simple form, and we'll get in touch with you to make sure that we can see how we can serve you the best.
As you guys know, I'm very good friends with the sheriff of Craven County, Chip, and Lord have mercy. You guys know I'm terrible. I just getting old, y'all. Y'all know Chip, the sheriff of Craven County, and I tagged him in this because I wanted to get as many law enforcement agencies to capture what we're trying to do here, and the heartbeat of what Jessica and Javi are doing. It extends beyond, just somebody coming up with something else new. These are not snake oil salespeople. I know their integrity. I know their character. And, you said it best, Jessica, and I think Javi did too, that you guys have skin in the game relative to the law enforcement arena, right?
Yeah,
that's right. So yeah, my daughter is a police officer, and, we've had several conversations about some of the things that she's gone through personally and some of the things that she's seen. So she's kind of given me that other side that most of us don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of the things that we do see and knowing what's happening behind the scenes, it really, our hearts, both of our hearts just were drawn to helping this community and identifying it. And so we've been doing some research. We've been talking to other individuals in the law enforcement community, finding out really what the pain points are. And not to say that we know it all.
No,
Believe me, we don't. But we believe we have a skill set, that God has given us a skill set and a passion to help this community, regardless of what may be going on. We want to help identify what might be going on in these individual departments,
right?
And then bring them to a point of accountability and personal responsibility for themselves,
right?
Okay, because no matter what community you're a part of, we all have to take responsibility for our own actions and our own health. But this community specifically, I think, over the decades, I think they've been trained to push aside some of the things that they've seen, push aside some of the experiences that they've had to experience, because it may get in the way of the job. Well, we had this discussion not a few weeks ago with another chief. The thing is that philosophy is now kind of blowing up in their face.
Right. Yeah.
It's coming out in the open, into the public, because human capacity only could take so much of those things. So how can we deal with it? How can we help them to kind of resolve some of these issues, get them out on the table so they could be resolved, rather than shoving them away? Because you shove them away, it's going to come up one of these days. A lot of times, unfortunately, it comes out in their home life.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
And we talk about like moms constantly. We're talking about, moms are constantly told, hey, you can't give to anyone with an empty cup, and you got to take care of yourself. And you have all these people you're taking care of in your house, and you're responsible for this and that. So you make sure that you focus on you, because you can't go serve these people in your home. You cannot take care of anyone. You can't nurture anyone. You can't give anyone hope. You can't anything unless you go take care of you and fill your cup. But no police officers are being told that. Nobody is in first responder, land saying, hey, have you guys all thought about filling your cup before you go out and try to serve in our communities? And it's not like no one said that, but you know what I mean? It's not something that's been built in or instilled over the years. And a lot of people now in this community are stepping out and saying that we need to be told that. We need to be held accountable for the fact that we need to be filling our cup in order to take on so much trauma, so much, just really things that no one else would do. No one else. It's like that show Dirty Jobs or whatever, like jobs no one else will do, because really it's true. The people that are in law enforcement are taking on a job that most people wouldn't even be able to deal with. And they're trained to do it.
Okay. So thank you. Who is Andrea? How do you guys know Andrea?
Oh, Andrea is a good friend of ours. She's one of our colleagues and friends in the
health
space.
I just wanted to thank her, because I'm flying solo. All my staff is off, guys. I don't have nobody but me and Samson in the studio, and so I was getting ready to put your website in the chat, and she did. So we'll have to send you just send us an invoice, and we will hook you up there, Andrea. So thank you so thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And again, if you would like to, if you want to follow along with us, or you want to get a read ahead, I'm going to do something that we don't normally do on the show, but because I know these people, and because I am just blown away by the depth at which they have. Listen, you guys, and I know when you're with friends, it's like you want to talk about everything, and then you want to talk about anything. So let me try to stay focused here. But you said something so true, Javi. I'm in a military town, and I've been around the military, and the military has had that same philosophy, the Douglas MacArthur, just suck it up and blah blah blah, until they started seeing the suicide rate go through the roof, and they realized, we're going to have to stop and take care of these troops. We're going to have to stop and change some of our approaches. Just, suck it up, buttercup is not going to work, even though it's the military. You see what I'm saying? Because
That's right.
Because your greatest commodity of any organization, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm joined by two of the finest commodities on the planet, Javi and Jessica Madrigal, the founders of the Phoenix Wellness Academy. The greatest commodity that you will have in your organization is the human people, the human beings pushing forward the mission. And sometimes we put the mission above the people. Obviously, the mission and the people are parallel, but if you sacrifice the people for the sake of the mission, eventually, it may not happen today, but eventually it will begin to tell on your organization. And that's what Javi and Jessica Madrigal are looking to address on many fronts. So, and again, if you would like to connect with Javi and Jessica they're certified in a whole host of things. This is what I love about them, that, they've got like I said, they got their tentacles spread across. That was a pretty cool line, wasn't it? I didn't have a script on that one either. I have to go back and take that and use it for other people. But they've got their hands in several areas that they're very, very passionate about. And but when you look at those areas, they're very focused. You know what I mean? They're very deliberate. They're very specific. So what I'm going to do is I asked them permission if I could do this before we got started. And I want to do this now. I'm going to share our screen for our live audience. And that way we'll be able to capture this in our recording. And we'll send this out to folks who I'm going to send it out to some chiefs and folks that I know. Chip Hughes was his name. Boy, he ain't never going to talk to me again. The sheriff of Craven County, who I know so well. Yeah, I know him so good. Can't even remember his name. Chip Hughes, ladies and gentlemen. And he's a phenomenal sheriff. And he crosses the Democrats, Republicans, everybody loves Chip because he's about that community. He's about serving that community. And really nothing else, man. And so I really appreciate that. So your mission statement here is we exist to come alongside those serving in public to be their number one advocate and to help them overcome their health battles without having to do it all alone. So Jessica, you made a comment about this, that sometimes it's like, okay, they just got to push through. And there's nobody that they're accountable to except to the watch commander to make sure that they did their patrol.
Right. And the thing is that's, I was just going to say before we came to this page, so I'm glad this was what we were doing, because I really wanted to point out that we want to be advocates. And the thing is when you're somebody's advocate, it's not about you. It's not about what you think they need. It's not about what you've put together. This is not about us. This is about a mission we were called to, and it's to serve these people. And so we are here to get feedback. We're here to work with these departments. We're here to help us understand what we can do for you. And, obviously within our scope of capability or capacity to help. Right. And we want to be an advocate. That means in all ways. So whatever we need to do, because obviously being a Blue family, we feel strongly about that, but people do this alone. And it's not helpful. It's not okay. We're here to serve their families as well, which I think a lot of wellness programs are not doing. And I think that's paramount because, like you said, Javi, this really shows up in their home life, and not even for people that necessarily have relationship issues or anything. It's just the stress of it, the trauma of it, the mental challenge that it presents when you are presented with so many things that you can't control and that are so traumatic just visually and emotionally. You go to take that home with you, and it's an impossible situation. Right. And so they need to have a way for everyone to work together, especially in the family unit, to work through their health challenges together, but also with a framework and accountability and support.
Right. Your mission is pretty powerful, Javi. How did you come up with that mission statement?
Well, I mean, again, I think this is just born out of, first of all, our passion for people to help people when they are suffering in their worst times. Right. And our passion for this community and helping them. We see a gap. We see a gap between that knowledge base and the officer, or the knowledge base and that first responder, that maybe their department, maybe their organization is giving them the tools or making them aware of certain things that they should be doing for their own self-care, but no one is walking the path with them. No one
Right.
is trying to help them walk it out,
Right.
work
Right.
it out within their life. And that's the gap that we want to fill, is that we want to walk alongside them
Yeah.
and help them to find their way through this, to navigate their way through this, just like we've done in other aspects. But I believe that we can do this with maybe other partners that they are dealing with. You know, like you had said, you know, we're not the mental health experts,
Right.
but there are other mental health experts that are in this community trying to do their best. But the thing is that they give them, just like a doctor,
Right.
they'll give them, hey, try this, this, and this. But they don't have anyone to make sure that they're doing that on a daily basis. But we can.
Right. And the thing is that, look, you're right. Like you said, we're not mental health experts. We're not experts in, you know, exactly what a law enforcement officer goes through and how to help them fix the very specific things that they're mentally and emotionally dealing with. What we do want to do, though, is help them implement the habits, the daily tasks, the consistency, the openness,
Right.
and all of the physical and nutritional things they should be doing. That's the thing. And I kind of want to back up a little bit on that statement. We all know that everything goes together. This mission statement is talking about whole wellness, and it's talking about that because for a very specific reason. It's mind, body, and spirit. Okay, you cannot go out and instill hope if you have none. You cannot go out and instill clarity if you have none. You can't, you know, break up a situation if you're in your chaos in your mind. I mean, there's so many people that are dealing with so much chaos in their mind, and then they're going out and trying to create order. You can't do that. And so the whole wellness has to happen. Okay. And so when you're trying to implement, okay, I'm going to do an exercise at the end of the day in my car before I go in. I'm supposed to meditate. Okay. What about, I'm supposed to talk through these talking points in my head and understand my mental health, like from an app or an article. But I'm not going to eat what I should be eating. I'm not going to take any time to exercise. I'm not going to talk to a professional. I'm not going to engage with my family. Like, there has to be physical and nutritional things and relational things happening in order to implement all that knowledge. That knowledge is nothing for you unless there's a way to implement it on a consistent, organized, and supported way that gets you from point A to point B.
I agree. And, you know, again, those of you that are listening, you're listening to Impacting Life 24/7. This is something that we haven't done before. This is our off-season broadcast. We're doing an off-season broadcast because I felt that this was so important. And who I have in the studio with me is Javi and Jessica Madrigal. And you can find what they are doing and this amazing conversation that we're having already about helping officers, personnel, and their families navigate their daily health challenges. Go to PhoenixWellnessAcademy.com. That's where we are right now. You can see it on our screen. For those of you listening to this via podcast, you obviously can't see it, but that's why we try to give out the website many times throughout the show. PhoenixWellnessAcademy.com. And it's led by Javi and Jessica Madrigal. And in it, you really do help us focus on what's important for this discussion. In other words, we're talking about first responders. We're talking about law enforcement, support agencies, the frontline workers, and their families. That was one thing that really stood out to me, Jessica. Here's what I know, that in big bureaucratic, multi-layered organizations, oftentimes they think, and just hear me out, guys. Okay, don't get upset with me. Okay, they think going and putting something up on the bulletin board is care for their people. You follow? They think, well, they put this little blue piece of paper up there that's got a photocopied, all crooked on the paper, that's got a website too. If you're struggling, go here. You know, nobody ever does that. It's not what the problem is that we don't have partners in this culture that can walk this journey with them. See, and what you guys are doing is saying, hey, look, we're not out here trying to fight the fires. We're not out here trying to, patrol the streets, but we understand the high level of stress and things that you guys go through, and we want to be a partner with you to walk on that journey. Am I getting close to kind of like that?
Yes,
that concept?
absolutely. Right. You got it.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Well, that's what they pay me the big bucks for, ladies and gentlemen, on Impacting Life 24/7. And so we have the front line, we have law enforcement, we have their families, who we know their families have a tendency to go through some of the same strains and stresses that they have too. Correct?
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a totally different type of strain and stress. I think that they're almost more overlooked than the personnel, because they're also taught. Hey, it's like the people in the military, just like, CL. It's like, okay, well, you're in a military family now. You should understand that it's completely normal for you to be away from your spouse for like a year,
right.
Or you just have to deal with moving and unpacking and packing constantly. It's like a suck it up buttercup thing there. And they have to have their own whole community to come around them. And that isn't even all. I have friends in that space too. And that's not always really effective either. Nobody's standing up for those people. So I know that the families of people in law enforcement, families of people in first responders, of first responders, they're overlooked as well. And they have that constant, are they going to come home? Okay, how do we deal with living that way? How do we deal with when they come home? We have no idea what they saw today. Nor do we even want to know, because it's super crazy and traumatic. And how do I talk to them about that? I have no idea. They need to be going through something that is filling their own cup in order to really be able to deal with these things, and then be able to implement the knowledge that they're getting from other resources that help them deal with relationships, battling through, it's a battling
right.
through the trauma that you're seeing, and how do we navigate through that in a healthy relationship. I think that helping the families is vital.
You can tell these folks have their own podcast, right? Because I can't ever get a word in edgewise. We we just waiting for somebody to breathe. I'm like, hold on a second, I got something to say.
Just cut me off. See, just cut me off.
You got the mute button, right?
Yeah.
No,
be like, I can't hear you, Jessica.
I'm just teasing, man. Okay, so let's go through this, because you've got the wellness program benefits, and Javi, you want to take us through some of the. Can you see the screen there, or is that too small on your end?
Yeah. So the stress management and mindfulness tools, and improving performance. The thing is one of the things I wanted. We had this discussion with someone else the other day. When an officer is out for whatever reason, maybe they have an on the job injury, or maybe they reached a breaking point. They're stressed, something happened, and they hit that mental break. They have to see a professional in rehabilitation of their physical body, or something mental health wise. And I know on the rehab side of things, there are allotted so many visits to, say, a physical therapist, and that's how much the insurance will pay. They'll pay for a certain amount of visits. Most of the time, those individuals aren't fully rehabilitated before they're cleared to go back to work.
Right.
And when we're talking about your body, when you have an injury, say a knee injury,
right,
it's not just the knee that has to be rehabilitated.
Right.
It's the other parts of the body that you're compensating for.
Yes.
So a lot of times they're weakened. They're weakened with their lower back, or maybe they're compensating with their other knee. And so they are returning back to work. The therapist said, well, do your best. You're done here. We're going to send you back to work. They go back to work and they re-injure themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or the mental health specialist says, well, I'm going to go ahead and clear you back to work, but there's still some things that they have to work out. And the therapist says, well, work on these things.
But no direction on how to do it.
Right. But no direction on how to do it, and no follow-up.
Right.
And no follow-up. Yeah.
And so that's the gap that we are trying to fill with all these things here, so that shows them ways and gives them tools to be accountable and to walk those things out post-therapy.
Right.
Right.
So we have, some of these things you'll see here are very specific. Like, we have Apple iOS and Android compatible app, and we have 24/7 tracking for stats, goals, habit, private support groups live inside our app. So what we've partnered with the company that provides the app for us, and it's an incredible platform. We have two different things that we're going to be providing, which is one is an app that has accountability groups, challenges. They're able to go in and sync with like Apple, Health, which is also on your Apple Watch, and MyFitnessPal, things like that. They'll have an accountability group right inside the app, so you're not on social. We are huge on confidentiality.
Right.
We are not about sharing anybody's stuff, and making sure there's a safe space for these people to be able to safely share what they're doing, making sure they're connecting with like-minded people that are going through the same things and are not wanting to go on social and do all of that nonsense. Like, I just know already that was a pain point. And we were like, we need to have a place where people can be accountable to each other, friendly competition, challenges that we can help them kind of like feel like, oh, I'm like a Biggest Loser.
Interdepartmental or whatever.
Yeah, interdepartmental, and we can make it however we want. I mean, we can adjust the groups to be whatever groups we want it to be, and make it really friendly and encouraging. But like the stress management and mindfulness tools, when we started on the top here, things like tracking habits. If there's something that their therapist, let's say, we talked to this chief the other day. He said, if my guys and ladies could have, after they go to their appointment, let's say for something that they're talking about with their therapist for something very specific, and they say, well, what I want you to do is do this. Maybe it's journaling every day. Okay, well, but who's holding them accountable for that? They're like, I really want to do that, but it's a brand new habit. Okay, so I'll go get a journal, I guess, and I'll just try to make a time for that. Like, there's nobody saying, hey, have you journaled today? Have you done your workout? Have you, this is a lot of this will be automated, but we'd also have messaging directly to their coach. They would have a coach assigned to them, and they would be able to talk to their coach and say, hey, can I get an alternative exercise for this? Hey, is there a specific way, a way to get this specific meal plan? What about, something that I need my therapist that I need to journal every day? Is there a way to put a habit in my account where it's going to remind me? Yes, there is. There's habit tracking. So these are things that are going to keep them on track, which again, will reduce on the job injuries, improve performance, morale, right? Supports healthy fitness, nutrition habits, but also like the wellness culture of their agency. Okay. This is something that could eventually, we have goals like, kind of bigger goals, things like reducing the insurance premiums for, an agency or a department. Well, and if these guys are not, having as many claims as they would normally have, then they can negotiate lower insurance premiums. This is something that we really want to be an advocate for the entire law enforcement community and first responders.
And I appreciate the part there, especially me with my, in my other lives and past lives, my top secret government clearances. I do appreciate that area that talks about confidentiality. And I know that's going to be important to those entities. And so this is something that if you're listening and you're a chief of police or you're a sergeant or, you're a lieutenant and you want to know more about how can this work? Because we're really talking about what I know is this. I know that the guys come out of BLET, basic law enforcement training, and they're in top shape. I know the first responders come out of they graduate their class and they're ready to just stick needles in everybody. But then they get into the rudiment of the job, right? And they develop unhealthy habits along the way. And that's just the reality. You can look at some of them sergeants. They ain't going through what they went through at BLET. And the reality is that she said the magic word, ladies and gentlemen, which I am an absolute advocate for, and that is culture. It becomes a culture of the organization. And so if you want to know more, and we're just giving you kind of like, we're just trying to whet your appetite tonight because we want you to come back for some more. We want you to go to phoenixwellnessacademy.com and set up your free consultation. You doing a free consultation or something like that, Javi?
Yeah. They could reach out to us and contact us there on the website, and we could set up an appointment and just kind of walk it out with them and what we offer and how it would apply to their department. Because I believe different departments around the country they're all trying to get their head around this.
Right.
Everything that's happened in the last year or two, like I said before, kind of just blown up. And we have record amount of of first responders retiring. We have a record amount, unfortunately, the suicide rate is going up.
Right.
And so they're desperately trying to get their head around this. And so their approaches are all different. But I think our solution gives us the flexibility to really adapt ourselves to whatever they have going on.
Okay.
Again, we're trying to fill that gap. So how can we do that? How can we serve your department? We want to have that discussion with them.
And so the word that comes to my mind is customizable, huh? What your program can be customizable to
Yeah.
Because what you're going to do for the law enforcement agency, there could be variations amongst law enforcement. You could have sheriff's department versus regular patrol department, or whatever you call police departments, and then those could be different. And obviously those could be tailored for them, and the tailoring for a first responder would be different. And so I love the capacity of customizing. And so what you guys are looking at on the screen, because I know those of you that are podcasting and listening to us on our 28 different platforms around the world, you can't see this. And so I'm just telling you right now on the screen, they give you an opportunity to connect, to track, sync, train, and connect all in one app. And why did you feel like this was important, guys? Why was this an important part of the tool that you guys are building?
Well, one of the biggest reasons why we decided an app would be a good idea is we need to be able to scale so that we can help as many people as possible. So we need to be able to automate stuff in our program for people. We need to be able to automate it so that when we're able to serve these people in a way that feels very personal, but in some ways is very personal, but in some ways is automated, so that they feel like they're getting everything they need to get. And as we get feedback from these departments, what do we need to automate? What shouldn't we automate? Right. What should be very personal? They can message us literally just right on the app. And I wanted everything to be in one place. This whole, confidentiality. We do not want to be on social media or whatever. This needs to be in an app where they sign into a private account. Their information is private. It's separate from everybody else's information, right? We do not sell any of that. We do not. And here's one of the biggest things. I just want to point this out just because it happened to come to my mind right now. One of the biggest things that we need to make sure that everybody that's going to inquire about this knows is that we are going to be providing blinded data back to the department so that they can help with insurance premiums. They can help their guys or their ladies get better and really implement this, but they will not know who's doing what. It's not only confidentiality on one side, but also on the backside. This is not anybody's business. This is between your coach and you, the program and you. This is for you to be able to make this happen for yourself and be able to show back up at work in a capacity that you want to, that you feel like you're expected to, that is the best for the community, and not feel like your business is going straight back to your sergeant or whatever, because that's just not going to work.
Y'all know CL kind of petty like that, because I'd be looking on an app and say, "Oh, I tracked you, brother. Yep, you was at Daylight Donuts. You were nowhere near where you supposed to be. I saw you on the app, brother." y'all know. Listen, man, I got issues, but no, that's so important for buy-in, right? Because if people feel like they're going to be ridiculed from the top down. You're giving, and let's just expand this a little further, guys, just so we can maybe help our people wrap their minds around it. Not everybody will progress through this the same. Let's say we just took a police department today. There could be varying levels of participation and varying levels of need. Is that built into the functionality of this?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because some individuals, they may have a physical thing that they need to get right. Maybe they have some eating habits,
right? Or
maybe they need to get, into shape. But some other individuals their main thing is that habit tracking, that mental health space,
or stress.
So these are the things that will help track those things individually. Earlier, I talked about personal responsibility and accountability. This is how I could stay accountable to myself. Mm-hmm. This is something how I could be responsible for my own self-care. And I could take back to whomever, whether it's just my own goal tracking, or if I want to take this back to my personal doctor. Okay.
Right.
And my doctor is concerned and has told me that I have I have to watch out for this or that. I could take this back to them and say, well, these are the goals, doc, that you set out for me. This is what I did in 6 months. What do you think? Can I get off that medication? Can I try something different? What do you think?
You know what I think this just speaks so much about accountability. Sometimes when people hear the word accountability, they cringe, right, Javi? They start thinking, oh, you're gonna be micromanaged. No. Think about it from another perspective, because in reality, especially in law enforcement and the medical field, think about it. Every time that person, like I've been laid up in the hospital before, Javi, I'm sure you have a time or two yourself, right?
A few times.
Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Impacting Life 24/7 on this off-season. What is this? This is a post-season broadcast with my friends Javi and Jessica Madrigal. They are the founders of the Phoenix Wellness Academy. Go there, phoenixwellnessacademy.com. It's in the chat. It'll be in the show notes. But Javi, when they come in to your room and wake you up every other hour, you know everything they do in that room, they're documenting, right? Now they ain't using pen and paper no more like me and you do, Javi, but they're documenting is the point. Police departments, well, they're supposed to document. This is why Greg wrote his book, because he found out that there needed to be some better documentation. But in reality, there's supposed to be a chain of custody and accountability, and that's when we got body cams now. And so accountability in some levels is the nature of the job. Like, you don't just go in and give somebody a Percocet who just had knee surgery and don't account for it, right?
Right.
So then why don't we, as managers and supervisors and chiefs and sheriffs of these departments, why don't we also give our people the capacity to be better accountable with their high stress level job? That understanding that I would have an avenue that is weaved into the culture of accountability already. This is such an easy on-ramp, ladies and gentlemen, because accountability is kind of like the nature of the job. And so to know that my department loves me enough to invest in me, to give me something to be accountable for myself, to do better performance, to call out sick less, right? That's what you were talking about, Jessica.
Yes.
Not having to go to the doctor as much. My family life, my personal life is enhanced, and this is still just a part of. I'm not unused to the role of keeping things accountable. So I really, really like that. If you would like to want to know more information, you guys can see it on the screen. They got a nice blue schedule my consult. And I'm not a police, but if I click on that, I know I will get the capacity to do a free consultation. And what I also love is that this is not just a one-size-fit-all program.
Right.
This program can be very customizable, right?
This is how can we serve you? I mean,
Right,
this is literally how can we advocate for your department? How can we advocate for your personnel? Because the thing is that this is all about us cheering you on. Like, we're not here to pander to anybody. We're not here to patronize you. We're not here to micromanage you. This is us getting behind you and saying, somebody needs to get behind you. Like, we're here to do it. This is what we've been called to do. We're going to do it until if it's the last thing we do, because we've been called to do it. We feel very strongly that these people, these amazing humans have stepped out in a capacity that most people won't and can't. And they are, I mean, I've met the most incredible personnel and officers that are just, they feel so strongly about their communities. They grew up in that community. They're serving their community members. They're there to stand in the gap. And we are there to do that for them, because nobody's doing that for them. And they need the support. They need their cup to be full. They need their stuff to be cleared out of their head. They need to be right-minded so that they can go out and really execute on the things that they said they want to do for their community, because we can't have people impacting lives without people behind those people impacting their life.
That's right. one of the other things I wanted to say is
Yes.
that if you are an organization out there that maybe you are already in this space, maybe you are treating those first responders in some way, in some capacity, and you hear what we're saying and it kind of resonates with you, reach out to us and we'll be happy to have a discussion with you. Maybe we can partner with you and find out how we could work together in serving this community.
Right.
I know there's some organizations out there, some great organizations out there that are serving that community, like the law enforcement community, after after a officer falls.
Right.
They serve the family, and they take care of all the ripple effects after a officer falls in the line of duty.
Right.
And they serve not only the spouse but the children in some capacity. A lot of times, my daughter and I were actually having this conversation not too long ago, where you see the funeral after we lose an officer out there. That you have this long parade of officers of just recognizing the fallen. But the thing is after everybody goes home, all that's said and done, you kind of forget about it, and the families are forgotten.
Right.
But there's really powerful organizations out there that I want to recognize that they're doing God's work right there.
Yeah,
they're helping the families. And that's where I think we could also fill in.
Right.
Where we can, and I'm just saying this on the fly, but why not? Because we could help those families too in making sure that their mental health, after the months and years go by, that they are able to move on and reestablish themselves in society.
Yeah. And I think that it's just really important that we talk about proactiveness.
Yeah.
In that way.
That's good. Well, let me just look at this real quick, guys, because as you know, when we get together, our time seems to go in like dog years. So, 7 minutes is like 7 millennials with us. So Jeff E. is a homicide detective, and he said this is what I love. I love reading testimonials. I love sharing. I was talking to Javi and Jessica about this, and we got to do better about this. We got to do better as a people, business builders, entrepreneurs, side hustlers, all y'all. And I will tell you straight up, man, if I'm going to have less and less people on this show that are not reciprocating. In other words, if you just want some place to come talk, man, go find somewhere else. But the reality is that I want to fan the embers of my brothers and sisters, their vision. I can't be down here starting the fire, but I can sure come along and fan it. And sometimes that's what we need, as opposed to just watching someone there with 2 sticks struggling, trying to get something going. So Jeff E., a homicide detective, said, the Phoenix Wellness Academy has been over-delivering since my wife and I joined a year ago. I'm continually impressed by the content and coaching that Javi and Jessica deliver each and every week. Don't forget about the workouts and demonstrations. They go above and beyond. Recently, I have started using the mobile app offered through the Academy. It's personalized and packed with all I need to transform to an active lifestyle. I can track everything, my mind, body, and spirit. Thank you. And again, that's the proof is in the pudding when somebody gets a chance to be able to say, hey, look, let me take this and let me actually apply it and use it for what it was designed to do. Why choose the Phoenix Wellness Academy? Experienced coaches you can trust who understand your health challenges. Only evidence-based strategies and approaches are taught here. So in other words, you're not winging it, right, Javi?
Right.
That's right.
So we're not winging it. Powerful nutrition guidelines backed by research. And I know one of my team members, Danny, will love that because he's all about show me the science, show me the data. And so that's very, very powerful. Functional fitness and whole body health for everyday living. And I've seen some of your videos. They're very, very practical, very well adapted, easy to adapt into your life. Support, accountability, encouragement, and community. Those words right there are ringing to me, because guess what? Like Javi has said several times over the last 19, 20 months, we have not been community. We have been little islands in our own world because we've been forced to. But man, we got to. I mean, I know that whatever's happening is still happening out there, but man, we've got to be able to look out for one another. And if you're in an organization like a police department, like a first responder, like a supporter of those folks, this would be a tremendous opportunity for you to partner with an academy that understands the value of community, understands the value of support, and understands the value of accountability and encouragement. Because guess what? Sometimes it can be really lonely out there on the beat. Right, Jessica? Sometimes the shift can be it's 12 hours long, and you come home and you're mad at everybody in the world, and it's like Groundhog Day, and you do it all over again. And so what a great platform that you guys have created to and look, again, it says connect with us to schedule your free consultation. It's all simple right there, guys. It's really laid out very, very nicely. This is highly professionally done, and Jessica and Javi never, ever, they never half step on anything that they do. When they put something together, I'm always jealous of their work because it looks so good. And I'm just like, how did you guys do this? And so I'm going to stop sharing the screen for just a minute. And Javi and Jessica, really, we'll just continue to beat this drum throughout the year. You guys are sponsors of this show, so you can come on anytime you want, and we'll just do another broadcast to promote the Phoenix Wellness Academy. But this has really been inspirational for me, because I've never seen like something that could be integrated in an already established entity like a PD or first responder.
Yeah, exactly. And see, we, like my wife said in the beginning, we always appreciate you. We're family, and we just really appreciate everything that you do, and allowing us to share this. And we hope that from here we'll be able to start taking this initiative forward and pressing it forward. And we want to just come back and give you guys a progress report. Hopefully, give you stories. I've shared with you some of my vision of what I want this to be, and how we could even take this further.
Oh yeah,
where we can actually, bring on those professionals, highlight those heroes, really show the other side of what these people are doing in our local communities around the country. And that, that's something down the road that we want to look at. This is the first step.
Well, let's talk about that just for a second, because I want everyone to understand that's watching a couple of things. So one is that this is just the beginning.
Right.
Javi and I are visionaries. God gives us stuff, and we run with it. Let's not think small. Why do we think small? I don't have time to think just about limitations. If I'm going to serve this community, let's serve their socks off. What do you need? What do you think you need? What do you think you might ever need? Let's go above and beyond what people why are we limiting ourselves? I mean, we're talking about, we would love to see things like whole organization, workshops and events and things that are really behind these organizations, because if we're not supporting who's keeping order and who's serving our community and keeping us safe, then who are we supporting? If we're not supporting, veterans, and we're not supporting people who are giving us our freedom, then who are we supporting? Right. I mean, this is something that these are the underdogs, right? We talk about that all the time. And so, these are really big visions that we have, and we are going to get a team. It's going to be provided. I know the people are going to come into our space that are going to help us with this opportunity to be able to serve these people in the best capacity we can.
Right. I mean, look, I know there's organizations out there right now, departments out there, they're doing incredible work for the youth in their community.
Right.
Why not highlight those things?
Right.
And look, CL, that's exactly where you come in, right? Exactly. Where we could really just drive this home and really impact those communities and help and partner with other organizations and move this initiative forward.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. The second thing was, if people are wondering, well, what could I do? Well, I mean, somebody was telling me yesterday, well, I don't know how I could help you guys with this. I mean, I have friends that like they work out. I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I don't know how they would help you. Like, they're not really in charge or whatever. This is what I really want to say to you is, look, if this is something you feel strongly about too, if you get behind this, you're like, yes, yes, yes. If you said yes more than 3 times during this broadcast, right, you're behind it. Go and share this broadcast with your friends. Go and if they know somebody, maybe they know somebody who knows somebody who's like, this is what I've been looking for.
Right.
Thank you for sharing this, because we want to get this in front of the people who need it. It's all about getting this in front of the right people who desperately are looking for something they could work with to implement impact. And we need to be a community behind something.
That's right.
And we can't do this by ourselves. And we're not looking to. We are looking for a community of support. And so if you just want to support us in sharing this on your social media, or, getting this in front of the right people, if you have contacts in the law enforcement community, by all means, share this link, with those people.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, for me to come out of like the groundhog, for me to come out of hiding to see if I could see my shadow and we get another 6 weeks of winter, for me to come out of the post-season production to fire everything back up in the studio, to have Javi and Jessica back on, it had to be important. And the Phoenix Wellness Academy, I believe, is going to take organizations by storm, because you got to think, man, our people are our most valuable and best commodity that we could ever have. And so Javi and Jessica out there in the West, I thank you so much. And you guys planning on traveling for Thanksgiving, or are you sticking around?
We are traveling to our kitchen to cook.
Well,
that's what we're doing.
I know what won't be in there, so
sorry, no turkey.
That's okay.
No
That's okay. What's one of the kind of like marquee or staple meals that you make for Thanksgiving, Jessica?
Oh gosh, we have a list. Okay,
just give me one. The music's playing.
No, we just love my sweet potatoes. The sweet potatoes with apples and pecans, and it's so good.
Can you throw down on that, Javi?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He hated sweet potatoes before we got married, so I'm just saying.
Look at that. Now Javi's a sweet potato. Look at that. Boy, I love it.
Exactly right. I need to go eat now.
Yeah. So listen, again, ladies and gentlemen that have listened, that have watched, thank you so much. Man, Javi and Jessica Madrigal are really on the leading edge of innovation when they produce something. I love what God is doing in their life, and I always, always, always want to share. Beyond them being sponsors, they're just amazing people and great friends. So listen, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll send this out. We'll get this to you guys, and we'll send it out to all of our networks, and let's see us help some folks in this area, okay?
Agreed.
That's right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, guys. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, okay?
You too.
Take care. Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I don't know how I don't know how we made it through and kept it to at least an hour, because we have so much fun together. Javi, Jessica Madrigal. So go to phoenixwellnessacademy.com. If you work in law enforcement, if you're a first responder, if you are working in that community, supporting a family member, man, I'm telling you what they've put together is it's comprehensive, it's thought out, it's secure, it's confidential, it's customizable. Man, I just absolutely love it. That's why we had to bring them on. We do have one more show, or 2 more. Actually, I found out I had to come out of retirement twice. We have Bonita Simmons. She's coming on to do a Christmas section with us. I believe that's going to be like the 9th. It's either the 9th or the 7th. I'll have to get that back from Greg. And then we will be in Kinston for a live event. I'll be doing a live event, one that I have not done in quite some time, and I know it's going to bless these young people. I'll be at the Gate Community Center speaking to those amazing kids down there in Lenore County. Then I will be The very next day, I'll be with Dr. Daryl Minus and the Minus 2 band. They'll be at the Stanley White Hall. I believe that's where that's going to be. And they're going to be doing a live performance. I'm going to have them on the show in January. Looking forward to that. They got their solo album out. Man, it's so good to see people just producing. I've been really putting my nose to the grind and getting this book done. I understand that is going to really explain to everybody why I am the way I am. Good, bad, or indifferent. So check out what Javi and Jessica are doing, y'all, please. Okay. Phoenix Wellness Academy.com. You won't be disappointed. Just go check it out for how awesome it is. And you can't go wrong by getting a free consultation. And if it's something that maybe you're not a decision maker, why don't you get yourself spooled up on it and then go let your decision makers know, the stakeholders know, hey, this is something that we really should get behind. All righty. So until then, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys for a few moments the early part of December. And our staff is continuing to sift through the countless amount of responses that we get to come on this show. I mean, literally, I can't have everybody because it just is not enough time. I would have to do the show every day of the week for several hours a day, and I just don't have that time. All right, so we keeping it Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I am not going any more days. Like I said, I start aging in dog years. God bless Javi and Jessica Madrigal. God bless you all, and may God continue to bless these great United States of America. Take care.